everybody. It's USA Wrestling Weekly. I'm Scott Casper. It's time for the news and features from USA Wrestling, the national governing body of our sport. This week, our show traveled to the U.S. Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs for the 15th annual Dave Schultz Memorial. The event was created in honor of the late Olympic and world champ Dave Schultz and attracted talent from across the world for high-level action in all three styles. USA Wrestling Executive Director Rich Bender made a very special presentation to Jeannie St. Germain, Dave Schultz's mother, who attends the event each and every year as an honored guest. The United States had a strong performance in the men's freestyle division, winning 4 of the 7 gold medals. Perhaps the most inspiring performance came from Virginia Tech All-American Devin Carter. He's competing mostly in freestyle during his redshirt year. In November, he won a medal at the New York Athletic Club International and then took another huge step at the Schultz. Working his way through a tough bracket, Carter reached the gold medal finals where he defeated young Indian star Bajrang 1-1, 0-2, 3-0. Carter scored a takedown and exposure midway through the third period to claim the gold. For his efforts, Carter was also named the outstanding wrestler in men's freestyle for that event.
Well, it's nice to get around, train other places, and get a different feel against different guys, especially from other countries. So we knew I was registering this year, so me and Coach Dresser just figured I should do as much as I can internationally, get as much experience as I can, and start winning stuff.
Well, the Schultz Memorial proved to be a showcase for former Iowa State NCAA champ John Reeder. Reeder didn't waste any time, scoring a quick 27-second fall over American Austin Trotman in the finals at 85. Trotman went for a leg attack, but Reeder countered, throwing him to his back for the pin.
I believe I'm the guy at this weight, and I'm coming out every time I'm going to war, and I want to go to battle. I love this. This is what I love to compete, and this is what I'm here for. And I want to make that team this year. That's my goal.
Well, the finals at 211 pounds also featured 2 Americans who were former teammates at the USOTC. Wynn Mahalik, who now coaches at Illinois, he defeated Deron Wynn, now at Iowa State, in 2 straight periods. The score 2-0, 4-0. Mahalik won the first period from the defensive position in the clinch and then opened with his own attacks in the second.
I think I did a lot better than at the NYC, opening up, being a little more offensive. I know that last match was a little low scoring in the first, and I slowed down a little bit, but I think I really come a long way with my conditioning, with my technique. I'm just feeling really good about myself right now.
Well, the 4th American gold medalist was past NCAA champ from Lehigh, Zach Ray. He won 3 bouts in the preliminaries before facing Canada's Sonny Dinsa in the finals. Dinsa was injured early in the first period and could not continue, giving Ray his first major international title.
I'm liking the transition big time, changing over to freestyle. I think it's a good change of pace for me. And, it's great just being able to travel and train with everybody. Coming out here, working out with guys like Tervel, and I went with Jake Varner a couple practices. They teach me a whole lot, and it's awesome. I like it. I like freestyle a lot.
In the remaining 3 weight classes, U.S. wrestlers reached the finals and came home with silver. Japan's Mamoru Honda downed American Mark McKnight 1-1-2-0 in the 121-pound finals. McKnight had a strong run, knocking off returning champ Kumar of India in the quarters. Junior world champ Magomed Kurbanliev of Russia defeated American Adam Hall. He did so 2-0-1-1 in the finals at 145. Russia's Sanokiev followed by stopping Colt Spunseller of the U.S. 1-0-3-1 in the finals at 63. Now, the newly formed Titan Mercury Wrestling Club won the team title, with Canada finishing in second. We talk with National Freestyle coach Zeke Jones.
Well, I think, overall, I think we're on track to, in a January, February time frame. We just wrapped up a 2-week national team training camp, and I think if you look at the foreigners and the Americans, those that were in training camp were the ones that did well here today.
Well, the women's freestyle competition featured athletes from the U.S., China, and Canada, and when it was over, 2 American stars were crowned Schultz Memorial champs. 2012 world silver medalist Helen Maroulis had won many tournaments around the world, but never the Dave Schultz. With a drawer full of silver and bronze medals from other tournaments, Maroulis finally came home with a gold from the Schultz. Maroulis was in command in her finals bout, defeating China's Zhao Ling 2-1, 1-0 at 121. Maroulis finished with a takedown with 11 seconds left in the second period to seal the victory. For her efforts, she was also named the Outstanding Wrestler in the women's division and was later selected as the Mat.com's Wrestler of the Week.
The first period, I shoot and then I kind of slowed down and then she would shoot back and get a point. And that was happening in the practice room, so it happened the first period and I was like, oh crap, I gotta change it up. So my coach just told me to start banging more and I was heavy and then I could tell she got tired, so I tried to capitalize on that.
2012 world champion Elena Peroskova of the U.S. earned her third Schultz title when she defeated longtime rival and two-time world bronze medalist Justine Bouchard of Canada. The score there, 2-2, 1-0 in the finals at 1:38. Peroskova scored key points in both periods to take home the title.
We always go 3 periods, but honestly, in a way, I'm glad I went third period. I don't know how great I wrestled third period, but I got to redeem myself a little bit, just because I felt like I need one more period with her, just to kind of finish the match strong, so didn't really bother me.
Women's Team USA also earned 2 silvers. After a strong effort to reach the championship finals, Veronica Carlson was defeated by fall in the 147-pound division by China's Feng Zhao. 2012 world champ Adeline Gray also reached the finals but was injured while pinning a Chinese opponent in the semis. Gray could not compete, giving the gold medal to China's Fengli Zhang. Other individual champs include Chinese athletes Yanan Sun at 105 and Sasha Kang at 112, both who scored pins in the finals. Winning her finals by injury default was Hu Li of China at 130. China won the team title with Canada finishing in second. Now, the highest American finisher in each weight class of the Schultz event earned a spot on the World Cup team, which is set to compete in March in Mongolia. The U.S. team will include Maroulis, Peroskova, Carlson, Gray, Alyssa Lampe at 105, Jessica Medina at 112, and Allie Reagan at 130. National women's coach Terry Steiner talked about the Schultz.
I thought overall it was pretty good. I mean, we got a lot of work to do, but this is our first competition for most of the girls for a couple months. So we hit about a 2-month stretch now, 2-3 month stretch of a lot of competition. So I think it was a good start, and we just need to keep moving forward.
Hey, stay tuned. We'll be back. There's more USA Wrestling Weekly.
The 2013 World Team Trials for both juniors and seniors will be held June 20th through the 23rd in Stillwater, Oklahoma. This is your chance to see national champs, world medalists, Olympians all competing to see who will represent the U.S. at the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary, and the FILA Junior World Championships in Sofia, Bulgaria. Visit www.theworldteamtrials.com for all your ticketing and travel information. ASICS is the proud sponsor of USA Wrestling's national teams.
Well, the Greco-Roman division of the Schultz was full of world and Olympic caliber athletes, as you might guess. They're coming in from around the world, made it extremely difficult to earn a medal. Well, the finals came around. There were 2 Americans in position to win a title. 2011 U.S. Open champ Jordan Hall made the finals at 85 with 3 wins over top opponents from India, Sweden, and Kazakhstan. In the finals, he drew Daniel Gadzhiev of Kazakhstan, who was injured and could not compete. That gave Hall the title by injury default. It was his first career Schultz title.
I think overall, though, the tournament went pretty well for the Minnesota guys. Minnesota Storm, Minnesota Training Center, we have pretty good showing. A couple guys wrestling for medals. Wechter did well. Fisher wrestled for a medal. Bizik had a tough route, but overall, I think it's a good tournament. I think we got the U.S. Open coming up and the World Team Trials, and I think everybody here would agree that those are, just as important, if not more. So we're going to keep pushing towards that.
Well, a surprise U.S. finalist was John Wechter, who's been competing in Greco-Roman now for several years. In his 4th year of residency as an orthopedic surgeon, Wechter beat opponents from Sweden and Kazakhstan and then stopped young American star Kaylor Williams in the semifinals. Junior world champion Vilius Laurinaitis of Lithuania edged Wechter 1-0-2-0 in the finals, sending him home with the silver.
Second period, I knew which way he liked to gut. And I knew that if I didn't respect the other side, I maybe could get turned that way. And I think I just overcommitted a little bit, and he turned me to that side. You know, if I could wrestle a match again, I think I'd push it a little harder on my feet.
In a highly anticipated finals bout, 2012 Olympic bronze medalist Johan Uren of Sweden stopped 2011 world bronze medalist Nurmagomedov Tenaliev of Kazakhstan in the finals. That was at 264, by the way. The score 0-2, 2-0, 1-0. It was Uren's second career Schultz title.
Well, I knew that one was going to be a hard one because we met each other once before it was at the Olympics.
Okay.
And his bronze medalist twice, I think.
At the Worlds, yeah.
Yeah, so I knew it was going to be tough, but not impossible.
China's Xinu Wang was named outstanding wrestler after pinning Kazakhstan's Konoratov in the finals at 145. Led by 2 champions, Kazakhstan won the team title, with China finishing second. World silver and bronze medalist Almat Katspiev of Kazakhstan was the champ at 32, and teammate Dozan Kartikov won the title at 163 pounds. The other individual champ was Awan Fan of China at 121 pounds. National coach Steve Frazier gave his perspective from the Schultz.
Well, we were real happy with the foreign competition. I mean, it was probably, as far as I remember, it's probably the best foreign participation we've ever had. We had like seven, 8 teams and maybe 80 different foreigners. So it was great, and good, strong competition for foreigners. So it was great for the development, great for practice, great for experience for all of our guys.
Well, the Schultz Memorial always brings together a large segment of the wrestling community for training and competition. Although many top U.S. stars were competing in the event, others were there to train and support their teammates and friends on the mat. We caught up with 2 members of the 2012 U.S. Olympic team who were in unfamiliar roles as coaches. Both plan to compete later this year and spent their time in the corners coaching this week. Now, 2012 Olympic champ Jake Varner was a coach during the men's freestyle event. Among the athletes he coached, Iowa State teammate John Reeder, who went on to win the gold. He also coached members of the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club, including finalist Mark McKnight. Jake talked about his coaching duties.
It's fun. It's kind of, you get to see the other side of wrestling, and you actually learn that way too, being a coach. You just see different things, and it's fun. It's just fun helping these guys, and a couple of our club guys are here. So.
Women's freestyle Olympian Kelsey Campbell is still recovering from an injury, so was unable to compete at the Schultz. However, she was working in the corner of some of her American teammates. Kelsey gave her perspective on being a coach rather than an athlete.
You know, as an athlete, I think I'm learning a lot being in the corner. I think you see things differently. Things are a lot more simple in the corner. But also, I want to see my teammates succeed. Like, I'm not out there, it's the next best thing. You feel like you're a part of it, you train with them, so you want them to succeed. And I am learning a lot when I am back on the mat. I think that there's going to be a lot that I gained from today and from other tournaments that have happened. So it's been fun. It's a different kind of stress, but it's fun.
Hey, stay tuned. We'll be back. There's more USA Wrestling Weekly.
There comes a point in your life that determines who you are, whether you will lead or follow, whether you will fight or give in, whether you will win or lose, and what you will count as your victory.
Man, both of these guys are explosive, and it's not over. This is going to be a great match.
Wrestlers, are you ready for the next step? USA Wrestling challenges you to test your skills in the Folk Style Tour of America. The 2013 Dominating the Dells will be held Saturday, March 16th in the Wisconsin Dell Center at Chula Vista Resort. Be sure to visit the water parks after the event. For more information about this event and other tournaments, visit usawrestlingevents.com. Wrestlers, are you ready for the next step? USA Wrestling challenges you to test your skills at the USA Wrestling Cliff Teen Athletic Folkstyle Nationals. Become a national champion. Head to the Unidome in Cedar Falls, Iowa on April 5th and 6th to compete against the best wrestlers in the country. Last year's event featured 1,200 cadet and junior wrestlers from 32 states on 26 mats. For more information about this event and other tournaments, visit usawrestlingevents.com.
Well, this last week, USA Wrestling announced that Noel Thompson had been named the team leader for the 2013 U.S. Women's World Team. Thompson will lead the women's freestyle delegation at the 2013 championships in Budapest, Hungary, and will be on the women's team leadership staff for the next 4 years. Noel's been active as a leader in the wrestling community for years, serving on the Board of Trustees for the Beat the Streets program in New York, as Master of Ceremonies for the last 3 Beat the Streets Gala event, 3 years as the wrestling chairman for the New York Athletic Club, and on the Board of Governors of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. He was also on the organizing committee for the Grapple at the Garden. We talked with Noel during the Schultz Memorial about his plans to support our national women's program.
Well, there's no doubt the women's team could be the most premier team in the world. I mean, we have the residue for success in the United States. Our women in 2012 took 3rd in the World Championships, 2 gold, a bronze, and a silver. So we're right on the cusp of becoming the most premier team in the world and staying on top of that podium.
Well, last Friday was a big day for college wrestling. The first place, Penn State, traveled to Iowa City to face the number 3 ranked Hawkeyes of Iowa in perhaps the most important Big Ten duel of the year. A sellout crowd of over 15,000 fans packed Carver Hawkeye Arena for an amazing and loud night of action. Tom Brand's Hawkeyes opened strong in the lightweights. 2-time NCAA champ Matt McDonough used an escape in the first tiebreak to edge number 2 ranked Nico Megaludis 2-1 in a rematch of last year's NCAA Finals, also won by McDonough. All-American Tony Ramos scored some big bonus points with a second-period pin against Jordan Conway at 133 pounds. Mark Baldwin extended the Iowa lead to 13-0 with a major over Brian Pearsall at 141. And Cale Sanderson's Penn State, well, they got on the board when Andrew Alton won an 18-8 major over Brody Grothus at 149. Well, the Hawkeyes weren't done. They came storming back at 57 when NCAA runner-up Derek St. John defeated Dylan Alton 4-3 at 57. This sent Iowa into the intermission with a 16-4 lead. The crowd was anxious, and Penn State, well, they closed the gap coming back from the intermission when NCAA champ David Taylor scored an 18-2 tech fall over Nick Moore at 65. In what was considered a key swing match, number 6 ranked Mike Evans of Iowa edged the 4th ranked Matt Brown of Penn State 4-3, firing up the Hawkeye faithful. Penn State bounced right back, however, at 84. NCAA champ Ed Ruth majored Grant Gambrill 21-10, and NCAA champ Quentin Wright beat freshman Nathan Burak 8-3 at 97. Now, mathematically, Penn State still had a chance to win the duel at heavyweight, but Iowa big man Bobby Telford slammed that door shut, defeating John Gingrich 9-2, giving Iowa a 22-16 win and sole possession of first place in the Big Ten. Iowa coach Tom Brands had a lot to say after the meet.
I mean, this was a big duel meet. We pointed toward this. We point toward all of them, but this was one that is on the calendar that's highlighted. And you know, there's you know, here's the thing. In the grand scheme of things, you got to get ready every week. This was a big one. We highlighted it. They highlighted it. Now we go forward.
Tony Ramos talked about his big pin and the victory by the Hawkeyes.
Yes, you know, everyone was counting us out. We had a hiccup or a slip against Oklahoma State. I think we should have won that duel meet too. But even bigger, I mean, everyone talks about Penn State being the guys who scored bonus points to get the falls. Who had the only fall tonight? We did.
Later that weekend, across the state, Iowa State hosted the number 2 ranked Cowboys of Oklahoma State in a Big 12 showdown. John Smith Cowboys won 7 of 10, including victories from top-ranked Jordan Oliver at 49 and Chris Perry at 74 for a 25-9 win. In the newest NWCA coaches poll, Oklahoma State moved up to number 1, Iowa came in at number 2, and Penn State dropped all the way to number 3. Prior to the meet, Iowa State held a ceremony to honor 2012 Olympic champ Jake Varner, who was a two-time NCAA champ and four-time finalist for the Clones. Varner became the sixth Olympic wrestling champ from Iowa State with his victory in London this last summer. He joins Glenn Brand, Dan Gable, Ben Peterson, Kevin Jackson, and Cale Sanderson as Olympic champs from ISU. An Olympic gold medal banner for Jake Varner was unveiled at the dual meet, and Varner was on hand to join in the celebration.
Yeah, it's awesome to be back here. I haven't been back in Hilton in a few years, and it's bringing back a lot of memories wrestling here. I think it's the best place to wrestle. It's just awesome, and all the support and fans they have here is just great. And just to be able to be here to have my banner drop next to the other Cyclone greats, it's kind of an awesome feeling, and it's just great to be put in the same group as those guys.
Iowa State head coach Kevin Jackson talked about his fellow Cyclone and Olympic champ.
When I watched him train, when I seen where his head was at mentally, where I seen how focused he really was on just wrestling in the sport, it was a given that this moment was going to happen. His future's still bright. He still continues to compete. I just can't say enough how proud we are of you, man, and we love you, and we thank you for being back.
Hey, stay tuned. We'll be back. There's more USA Wrestling Weekly.
Each season, Liberty Mutual's Responsible Sports Community Grant Program awards $65,000 to youth sports organizations and school sports programs that demonstrate their commitment to responsibility in youth sports. Your organization could be one of our 20 winners this season. It's easy. Simply visit responsiblesports.com and click on the Community Grant Program. Administrators register their organization with the program, then reach out to rally parents, coaches, and team supporters to log on and review either the Responsible Sports Parenting or Responsible Coaching Guide. Then complete the quiz and showcase your mastery of the concepts. Every successfully passed quiz is worth a point that you can credit to your favorite youth sports organization or school sports program. Connect with friends, family, and neighbors to rally more support. The teams and schools with the most points at the end of the grant period win. It's that simple. Watch the leaderboard throughout the grant season, then rally more of your supporters to increase your totals. Liberty Mutual is committed to celebrating and championing youth sports and to financially supporting organizations that demonstrate their commitment to responsible sports. Join the movement and start earning points toward your community grant.
This week, during the festivities at the Super Bowl, the newest members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame were announced and included in the elite group of pigskin legends. 1967 NCAA wrestling champ Curly Culp was one of two senior selections to the Hall. In '67, he won the NCAA National Championship as a heavyweight wrestler for Arizona State, becoming the first Sun Devil to earn an NCAA title. He won the GrecoRoman Award for the most pins at that competition and was also the Arizona State champion for Yuma High. Culp was an All-American defensive lineman for the Sun Devils football team as well. Culp went on to stardom in the NFL as a defensive lineman for the Kansas City Chiefs, the Houston Oilers, and Detroit Lions, playing 14 seasons and appearing in 5 Pro Bowls. We also learned that another one of those inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame was a wrestler in his youth, offensive tackle Jonathan Ogden of the Baltimore Ravens. Ogden was the big man in the back row. Here's a zoom in of Jonathan in his uniform. Ultimately, Ogden grew too big for wrestling, going well over the 275-pound limit while still in high school. He was a college star for UCLA in football and track and became the first player ever to be drafted by the Ravens. In his 12-year career, Ogden was elected to 11 Pro Bowls and made the all-decade team of the 2000s. Congratulations to our wrestling brothers on reaching the important Pro Football Hall of Fame. Well, the newest edition of USA Wrestler, the official magazine of USA Wrestling, is now available to the public free of charge. It's in our digital format on our website. The February issue shows 2012 Olympic champ Jordan Burroughs on the cover. Inside you'll find a feature on him and national team members Alyssa Lampe and Joe Betterman, coverage of the Grapple at the Garden, of course, Q&A with Missouri coach Brian Smith, and a lot more. Check out that February edition by visiting themat.com or USA Wrestling's Facebook page. The last 15 issues of USA Wrestler are also available in the digital format, so if you miss one, just go to our Facebook page and click on the USA Wrestler tab. Hey, it's time for our Photo of the Week contest. The pictures are sent in by wrestling families and fans from around the country and are being considered for the photo contest page in our USA Wrestler magazine as well as our USA Wrestling Facebook page. This week, our Photo of the Week was taken by Sarah Noel Plowman, depicting 10-year-old Theron Vanas of Markurel Wrestling Club in Connecticut, nailing a sweet throw at the Husky Bowl tournament in New London, Connecticut. Have your photographs considered for USA Wrestling's photo contest simply by emailing them to Gary Abbott at gabbott@usawrestling.org. Well, folks, that'll do it for all of us here at USA Wrestling Weekly. I'm Scott Casper. Thanks for watching. Good night.